For today's flow and stretch, we're going to start at the top of the mat, feet right underneath our hips. Taking an inhale, we reach the arms up to the ceiling. As you exhale, hands come together, we forward fold down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, tailbone long. Exhale to forward fold. Planting the hands down, we step our feet back to a high plank. Here you can either drop the knees down or keep the knees lifted as you lower yourself all the way to the mat. Take an inhale, lifting the head, neck, and chest, keeping the weight out of the hands. And exhale, press yourself back to a child's pose, toes together, knees apart. We sink the hips down to our heels. Take another breath here. And then tuck the toes, reach the hips up to the ceiling for a downward facing dog. We lift our heels, walking the feet forward into that forward fold, and then roll the spine all the way up. We go through that 2 more times. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. And step the feet back to your plank. Again, knees lifted or knees lower as you lower the body all the way to the mat. Halfway lift. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. And then press into those hands, pressing back into your child's pose. Actively reaching those fingertips forward. Tucking the toes, we reach the hips back up to the ceiling into that down dog. Lift the heels high and walk yourself forward into that fold. 1 more halfway lift here, getting that extra stretch for the hamstrings before we roll our spine all the way up. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale as you step the feet back to your plank. Exhale as you lower down to your mat. This time you can either do that little baby cobra or lift to your full upward dog, making sure the belly zipped up, glutes are active, and then reach back to that down dog, skipping our child's pose this time. Here you can pedal out the feet or just stay still, reaching those heels down to the mat. Reach the right leg up to the ceiling for your 3-leg dog, looking out for things around you. Tuck that right knee into the chest and then step forward in between the hands, finding a nice low lunge. Reach the right arm up to the ceiling, opening the chest. And then drop the back knee down, grabbing onto that right foot if it's accessible. You can also use a band here as a prop or just tuck that foot towards the sit bone. Retuck those back toes into your lunge, and then drop the back knee, sitting the hips back, straightening the right leg to a half split, and then rocking forward to that lunge. We rock back and forth a few times here, taking these at your own pace, just opening up that left hip and stretching out the right hamstrings. Holding this half split for a few breaths. And then walking back forward into your lunge, we reach the arms up to the ceiling, trying to keep the hips nice and square to the front of the mat. And then step that back foot forward into a pyramid pose. You can either just hold the stillness here or rock yourself forward and back, lifting that back heel and then lifting the front toes. From here, we drop back down into our lunge, heel-toeing that right foot to the edge of the mat. We drop down the back knee. You can either stay up on those hands or drop down to the forearms for a deeper stretch in your lizard lunge. Really sinking into the left hip. And then we tuck the back knee behind that right ankle, coming into a spine twist. Make sure both sit bones are down on the ground here. I know it's hard to see, but that left elbow is hooked around the right knee. Now you can stay where you are, but just to show you here, you can either have those shins stacked on top of one another or stack the knees, whatever's accessible today. Again, keeping the sit bones down, we reach those arms forward, feeling the stretch deep within the hip. With each breath you take here, try to release any tension that you feel. And then gently bring yourself back up, unwinding back into your lunge. From here, we turn both toes to the side of our mat, coming into a wide forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen the spine, and then let yourself lower back down. Breathing here. Lift up halfway, rotate the toes out, and sit into your left hip, finding a nice spider lunge. Right toes are towards the ceiling, really pressing back on the left knee. Crawling yourself forward to the front of the mat, we find our lunge, and step back into your downward facing dog. Lift through the heels to walk forward, and we go through our original flow one time. Rolling the spine all the way up, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, step the feet back into your high plank. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lift upward facing dog. And exhale, zip up the lower belly as you press those hips up to the ceiling, downward facing dog. Going to our other side now, we reach that left leg up to the ceiling for three-legged dog. Left knee pulls into the chest, and we step the foot through to our lunge. Open the left arm to the ceiling, opening up the chest. And then drop the back knee down, grabbing onto that right foot. This is really stretching the quadricep and that hip. And then tuck the back toes, find your lunge again. Drop the back knee down, straighten the front leg for half split, spine stays long, and rock forward to your lunge. Rock back to your split. And again, forward to your lunge. Again, you can take these at your own pace depending on what your body needs today. And then hold that half split for a moment longer to really feel the stretch through your hamstrings before coming back to your lunge and lifting those arms up to the ceiling. Zipping up the abdominals here to protect the lower spine. And then drop yourself back forward into your triangle pyramid pose. Try with all your might to keep those hips as square as possible. I'm even fighting it here myself. And rocking forward and back, or just holding still and breathing. Drop back into that lunge, heel toe the left foot to the edge of the mat, bringing both hands inside the foot, and then staying up on the hands or dropping down to your forearms to deepen the stretch. You can either keep the back toes tucked or untuck and drop the back knee. One more breath here. And then we tuck that back knee behind your front ankle, coming into your twist. Sitting up as tall as you can, using that back hand for a little extra leverage. letting the head twist with you as well so you get the full spine involved. Shins stack, or we stack the knees. Coming into your hip stretch, reach those arms forward and breathe here. Gently unwind back into your lunge. And then come into that wide leg forward fold. Here we have the heels slightly wider than the toes, so you're really getting that stretch all through the hamstrings, all through the outside of the legs. Halfway lift, lengthening the spine, and then lower yourself down. Releasing any tension in the neck, you can shake the head yes and no. You can even grab onto opposite elbows if that feels good. Then we lift to turn out the toes, sitting into that right hip. Left toes to the ceiling, really pressing back on the right knee. And then crawl yourself forward back into your lunge. Step that left foot back, find your downward facing dog. Lift the heels, walk the feet all the way forward. And we go through our initial flow again. Inhale, reach those arms up, chest nice and proud. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold. Stepping back to your plank. We lower ourselves all the way down to the mat. And we stay down on the mat this time. Grab onto your right foot here. Finding another quad stretch, really pressing the right hip into the ground. Lifting in the belly. Squeezing the glutes. And we switch sides, grabbing onto the left foot. Trying to keep the knees nice and close together. And then extend that leg back onto the mat. From here, coming into a chest stretch. The left arm is at a 90-degree angle on the ground. Right arm is planted on that ground. So right fingertips on the ground, right elbow up. You're trying to press the left shoulder into the ground as you press the chest away. So you should feel the stretch under that left armpit. And if you like, you can reach the right toes back behind you as well to get more of a spine twist. Coming back to center, we switch sides. Right hand at that 90-degree angle on the floor. Left arm propped up. And we reach the left toes back behind you or keep it down. Now both hands are tented, elbows lifted. We come into a spinal wave, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Head stays forward as you roll up, and then roll yourself back down. Again, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Head stays tucked until the very last second. And then slowly lower the spine down. Head is the last thing to come down. The belly is zipped up this whole time. Glutes are squeezing. We're protecting that lower back as you roll up and down off of your mat. From here, gently press yourself to all fours. Now you can stay obviously on your mat here. I'm just turning to the side so you can see a little better. We're going to bring that right leg out to the side. And then bring your hands slightly away from that left knee. You're going to rock back towards the ground and then rock back forward towards the knee. So you're sitting the hips back like you're sitting down and then coming back to your center on all fours. Really stretching out that inner thigh. From here we come back to all fours. Right hand comes behind the head. We inhale, opening towards the ceiling. Exhale to twist to the wrist. This is opening up that rib cage. Inhale, open to the ceiling. Exhale to twist. Inhale to open, reach the arm up, and then reach it all the way through. Finding a nice shoulder stretch here, you can either keep that left hand planted or reach it forward. Plant the left hand back down, bring yourself back to all fours, and we come to the other side. Left foot reaches out, left leg is straight. We find those hands right in line with our hips as you sit back and rock forward, and sit back and rock forward. If you feel any knee pain here, just shorten that range of motion. You shouldn't feel any pain in the knee. It's okay if it feels stretched, just no pain. Coming back to center, we bring that left hand behind the head now. Inhale, open the elbow to the ceiling. Exhale to twist down. Inhale, open, and exhale, twist. One more time here. And on the last time, we reach that arm all the way up to the ceiling, and exhale, reach it all the way through, threading it underneath. Gently press yourself back to all fours. And from here, we find a nice upward facing dog into your child's pose. We're going to round through the spine, letting the hips drop. Head is the last thing to come up. Press the hips back into child's pose. Round through the spine to come to upward facing dog, and lead with the hips to go back into child's pose. Sitting all the way down, swinging those legs around. We're going to lay ourselves back on the mat. Bring the right knee into the chest and circle the ankle around 3 times in each direction here. From here, bring that knee across the body, opening the right arm to the side, making sure the right shoulder blade stays connected to the ground. You can look back over that right shoulder if it feels good for you. And then come back to center. Right ankle crosses over the left knee. Finding a figure 4, you can either keep that foot on the ground or bring the left thigh into the chest. Make sure that right foot is flexed. We're really pressing out on the right knee. Place the left foot down onto the mat. We grab onto our right quad or your right calf. I say quad, I mean thigh. Finding a hamstring stretch as that right foot reaches up to the ceiling. And then reach the leg down, reach the arms back. Nice big stretch here as we bring the left knee into the chest. Circle the ankle around 3 times in each direction. Coming into your spine twist, the knee comes across the body. We open that left arm to the side. And then bring the knee back to center, crossing the ankle over your right thigh for figure 4. Again, you can stay here with the foot down or bring that right thigh in closer. Try to keep the hips down. Place the right foot onto the mat. Left leg reaches to the ceiling, grabbing on wherever's accessible for you. You can either keep the right knee bent or extend it long onto your mat to deepen the stretch. Reach that left leg long on your mat. Reach the arms back. Pull both knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug here. And then open up for a happy baby. So you're going to grab the outsides of your feet, pulling those knees in towards your armpits, making sure the hips are still reaching down towards the mat. And then release that happy baby. Rock yourself all the way up to seated, finding a butterfly position, soles of the feet together, knees open, reaching forward. Gently press yourself back up. You can stay facing the side here, but just so you can see, I'm going to turn. We bring that right hand to your left ear. Reach the left fingertips down towards the mat, giving yourself a little gentle pull to the side and then to the diagonal if that feels good for you. And we switch sides, little pull, stretching out the neck, always being very gentle here. And pulling to the diagonal. And we come back to center, hands come to the knees, we roll the shoulders up to the ears with a big inhale and release it down, and you are done for the day. Thanks so much for joining me.